Hello friends, welcome to Mincing Adventures. Lisa here. Today I'm going to test out a new recipe on Cookidoo. I've not made it before, but 5 people before me have, and they rated it 4.8 stars. Can I encourage you that as you are cooking recipes on Cookidoo, you do star rate them? It's kind of one of these things that I really appreciate those star ratings, and I think you will too, because it means that if you follow those recipes step by step, you're guaranteed success. I think I've made mention recently, there's not very many times now you can open up a magazine or something, or even a blog online, and cook a recipe and be guaranteed an amazing outcome. But you know that if other people think this is amazing, you're going to be impressed as well. So can I encourage you, if you're cooking on Cookidoo, put your opinion in, put your star rating in, okay? So these are called the high protein chicken Parmi hot pocket. Now I have no oven, and this one actually goes in an air fryer, so that's going to suit me down to the ground. And I haven't ordered my new oven yet. It's on my to-dos hopefully for today. So it says it's going to take 10 minutes in prep time. So it should only take us about 10 to 15 minutes together, and it's going to be ready in an hour 15. It serves 6, which is perfect for me. I don't have chicken mince. I'm going to teach you how to mince your own meat down today. If you're watching on, say hi. Remember, if you are not following or subscribing, hit that subscribe button. First things first is some bread and some Parmesan. I'm actually going to skip the bread, and you guys know I like to learn with you, and if it doesn't work, then I'll tell you don't do what I did. But I am going to put the Parmesan in, okay? What I thought I might do instead of the bread is we do a seed mix, and I'll just grab it out, that we use for brekkie circles, and it's literally just seeds. It's that looks like pepitas, sunflowers, and then milled down. So normally into a kind of a flour. However, this one, I'm just going to put 30 grams in, I reckon. This one you can see is quite coarse still. Depends how much we do at a go as to how coarse that is. Goes in with our sweet potatoes and our zucchinis for that. So I'm going to put in about 30 grams of that. Not sure if it'll be enough. I don't know. I think this is the coating. We'll just give it a go. Come with me. This is how I would do lunch, which is why when I do these videos, I just go, you know what? I'm going to turn the camera on. I'm going to share it with you. The ups, the downs, the messes and everything, okay? Okay, let's grate this down. So 10 seconds, speed 9. You can do this on any Thermomix. I don't think there's anything... You might be able to see my finger on the bottom of the screen down here. Your silver button on a TM7 down the bottom is the equivalent of your silver button on a TM5, TM6, or your speed dial spinning back on a TM31, okay? What I was going to say is I don't see any reason why this is a TM7 specific recipe. However, I think you might have to change your filters to find it. But you can always use my videos and go step by step. Hello, Sue. Lovely to see you on today. I stopped that a little early because I actually thought it just sounded done. And so when it sounds done, then I can go, yep, I can stop it early. And I thought it was a good chance. I'm just going to grab a bowl. I thought it was a really good chance to show you that you can stop things early. Transfer to a bowl and set aside. So that's grated Parmesan with my nuts in because I didn't want to put bread in it, which you guys have been watching for a while. You know that's nothing crazy for me to do. So brown onion cut into quarters. Mine's half, but it's nothing huge. And then 2 garlic cloves, which I'm using paste at the moment. All right, next we're going to chop that down. Has anyone made this that's watching on? This is, I'm really excited for this. It's been on my to-dos for the last week. It's been waiting for me to do this recipe. Scrape down the sides with spatula, then saute. So that's what it looks like inside. You can see that beautiful chop. No onion eyes when you've got a Thermomix. And it's going to cook for 3 minutes. Now, this 3 minutes is going to provide me the time, and ordinarily in your kitchen, it will provide you the time to get your next lot of ingredients. For me, I'm going to prep my chicken so that I can mince it in a second. So with the Thermomix, you can mince your own meat down. Now, this recipe, if I can get into the packet, well, there we go. This recipe actually uses chicken mince, and I never buy mince. Does anyone else avoid buying pre-minced products because you just kind of question what is actually in there? So I like to buy breast or rump and mince my own. So you can do it with thigh. The fat can be a bit of a tricky thing. It tends to be better if it's par frozen, but it can still be done. It just can get a bit messy inside. It wraps around the blades. So all I'm doing here while this is happening is I'm cutting it up into chunks about that size. So it fits down the shaft of the blade. Sorry about that. I'm not sure how loud that is on the microphone, but this cold weather is making me cough these days. I'm not sick. It's just the cold makes, I don't know, makes it hard to breathe. Anyway, that's all right. The cold won't last long. So cut it into hunks and I try my best not to cough on camera, sniffle and carry on. But it's life. It's real life kitchen adventures here. Oh, that onion smells absolutely amazing. I'm just going to put my exhaust fan on in a second because those onion fumes are trying to get my eyes. And I said no more onion eyes when you've got a Thermomix, except if you're standing really close in a kitchen to it while it's cooking. By the way, you know, with the TM7 you can have a little squiz and see what's happening inside. So if you wanted to tweak this recipe and add your own things, maybe in with this onion you want to add some cumin or something like that, you can actually do this. Put your ingredient in, sorry you can't see, and then put the lid back on. It's as easy as that. Let me just turn this exhaust fan on, get those fumes away, and I'm just going to wash my hands for a second as well, get the chicken off them. So they were 3 decent sized chicken breasts out of my packet, so it's going to be about 1 kilo, which is what the recipe calls for. This does serve 6. I reckon it would be a perfect recipe to actually freeze, so you could actually make up your 6, freeze them individually, and then put them in your air fryer from frozen when you're ready for them. I reckon as well, I think they make rather largish ones, but I think you could make little mini ones. I think that would be yummy. So 30 seconds to go. It's 95 degrees. You can see that this is doing its thing at the top. Just a reminder, if you're on a TM6 with this over 90 degrees, you need to put your simmering basket in place. So just a little reminder there about the safety of using over 90 degrees with your TM6. 90 seconds. We're going to add some ingredients to this. So we are making the filling at this point in time. So we're actually making the beautiful like Parmi middle with the tomato in it. I think that's what we're doing at this point in time. I feel like I may have forgotten to grab somewhere oregano. So let me grab that now. Well, that sings at me and releases the lid. Now I love on the screen it tells me, hey, go back to current step, and it pushes me back up there. Okay, next. Now it says chicken stock. I just use veggie stock, and it says 2 teaspoons, so not a huge amount. In that goes. That smells so yummy in there. 400 grams of canned tomatoes. Now I have my 2 point something kilo worth, and I might actually use this jar to, oh, you know what, let's just risk it. We've got this, I might bring up the scales. So because it says 1 can, and cans usually come 400 grams, I have this massive one, so I'm going to bring up the scales underneath. And let's try not to make too much of a mess. Halfway there. Whew, there we go. We tend to freeze our, somewhere to put it down, there it is. Freeze the leftovers in Glad bags. You'll often see me put them in. So because we buy it in bulk, we then freeze it up. Okay, we're going to cook it off again for 12 minutes. So it's quite a decent cook to just make it all come together and be absolutely beautiful. However, in the interest of time, I'm going to give it 3 minutes and we're going to keep moving on because I want to show you how we do this recipe. I want to show you how to mince meat. And as I said, I didn't look ahead. I just thought I'll share cooking lunch with you today. So we're going to do that together in a second. If you've never tried making chicken Kievs in your Thermomix, I would highly suggest that recipe. It is a skinny mixers recipe. It is beautiful and well worth your time. Okay, so skinny mixers chicken Kievs are really yummy. Another one that you can make in bulk and then freeze for a later day. I think there's some mini Kievs on Cookidoo I've made as well. They're a beautiful one as well. And I love that I can make them gluten-free really easily. I was actually going to completely miss out that bread today and not even put seeds in. You can do that because that's the coating. But then I thought I'll do the seeds. So you could, you can swap these things in. That's the beauty of Thermomix cooking, right? You have that freedom and that flexibility, which is super cool. All right. Now this is going to concentrate its flavor over time and cook it down a little bit. That's what 12-minute cook would do. This is where I wish I had a second TM7 on the bench so that I could just keep going. Not yet. Soon. Soon I'm going to have some... Did I say TM6? TM7. Sorry. All right. So just let's pretend I have cooked this for 12 minutes. I'm going to press... I could either push my silver button. underneath, or I can press pause. I'm just going to pause it and go next. It has started sizzling away. Now it says transfer to a bowl and cool. All right, I'm not going to cool it because I'm going to use it. This is literally how I would do lunch in my kitchen, barring I'd probably give it 12 minutes if I wasn't on camera with you guys. But here I am. Alrighty, next up. By the way, I love how easy it is to clean the TM7. I know some of you were not happy when I said I won't miss those arms on a TM6. I remember that. But to wipe this down and not have that hole to clean out and the arms, oh, loving it. Okay, I know it's you know, it's nothing major. Your Thermomix, your TM6 will cook amazing food, as will your 5 and your 31. But sometimes it's those simple things. Okay, for me. All right, so it says 1,000 grams of chicken mince. This is where I'm putting in my big chunks I cut up. Okay, so this is the folding bamboo board from the mix shop. I have no idea if it's still there. Oops, I need that piece of chicken back. So I'm going to be a little under. I'm just going to grab this last breast in the packet. I'm not going to use all of it. We are getting quite to the capacity when it comes to mincing when you get to a kilo, but I think it'll be all right. Oh, those smells are making my nose, mind you, it is really cold today too, but making my nose run. It's terrible, this cold weather. Somebody left the freezer door open, they can close it now. All right, so we don't have mince, we need mince. We put the lid on. Mincing meat in your Thermomix is so easy. So what we're going to do is we're going to push the back arrow out of this recipe. We're going to go to our modes, which is our little blade symbol. We're going to go then to our turbo. Now on the TM7, we can actually say how many times we want it to turbo. So I want it to turbo 3 times, 1 second. We're going to assess it after 3 and decide. So I'm going to push play. It's going to lock it in. It's going to do it. 1. Here comes 2. And then 1 more makes 3. Here it comes. Done. And now it'll say, hey, I'm finished. There it goes. All right. Let's go back out of that. Let's see if it's enough. It may not be. I'm not sure. Wow, that's pretty good. I'd like it a little finer. It's pretty darn good. You can see that. But I'm going to go 2 more times. There we go. Let's make it go. So on the TM31, you need to have it in the lock position, and you push the turbo button and it will go turbo so long as you're in the lock. Okay, I reckon that's pretty good. Yeah, now we got mince. Look at that, and I know exactly what's in it. I love that. Now to get back to my recipe, I drag down the top of my screen and I can click straight on it. Okay, so now it's asking for garlic powder, 1 teaspoon. Oh, it's a brand new one. Now, little tip I learnt recently, thank you to those who gave me this tip, is store your garlic powder, and it says a teaspoon, yep, in the fridge so it doesn't go hard like a rock. Thank you for that tip. I'm going to put it in the fridge. Now the oregano, I collected that a second ago. Now it calls for salt. We're not going to put salt in. We're going to put our stock in. Who puts salt in? Stock will lift the flavor so much more. You don't want to go crazy and put like a heap in because it's going to make it too runny, but a little teaspoon will be beautiful. And some pepper. Where's my pepper? There it is. Just grab that. For those of you who've been watching along for a long time, you might remember when I first started doing these videos back 2020, we didn't use pepper in our food, but wow, what a difference 5 years makes, and the kids actually, you know, growing up and liking food differently. Okay, let's combine this together. So we're actually going to mince it for 10 seconds. I don't know why it says mince. It's actually going to mix because we've created the mince. All right, give that a moment to come together. All right, done. I love that it calls us back. Okay, using damp hands, divide the chicken mixture into 6 portions, place between 2 pieces of baking paper and roll out into approximately 15 centimeter circles. So I'm just going to show you one of these only because my kids wanted to get involved and do this today as well. So, because I'm stealing their cooking days at the moment, I'm so excited to share this stuff with you. So normally Monday, my oldest cooks. He cooks lunch, dinner, and a snack. Tuesday, the 12-year-old cooks. Wednesday, my day. Thursday is my youngest, the 9-year-old, he cooks. And then Friday, the nearly 11-year-old cooks. So at the moment, because I'm so excited to share with you guys, I'm doing some of their cooking. And they're like, Mum. So anyway, is what it is. So we've got 1 kilo of meat in there. I'm just trying to work out how much we're going to put on each thing each. Is that like, that might be like 150 grams each? Do you reckon? So it says a 15 centimeter ball. You could divvy this up straight away. You could put this out on a thermomat and actually divvy it up completely. Wonder if I should do that. I'm actually not going to put it on thermomat because I didn't get organized to get that out. But I'm going to pour it all on this second bit of baking paper. And I'm going to push it into a little pizza shape. And then I can divide it up a bit more evenly. Now remember, at the end of a make, your TM6 and your TM7 can both clean themselves. How cool is that? So just let me put this together. I want to figure out how much this is when you do it into 6. And I'm sorry you can't see this overly well. You'll just have to trust me that I'm making it look like a massive flat. Hello, Kim. Hello, Kalinda. Big pizza. Just going to cut it into 6, literally like you would a pizza, with my spatula. My puppy dog is sitting here going, I want your food. It not having my food. Okay, so I did big triangles, and I'll just take a triangle off. So back onto here. Using damp hands, divide the mixture into 6 portions. Place each between 2 pieces of baking paper. Roll out to about 15 centimeter circles. So I do love that I am going to not handle this at the moment. You guys know me playing with food with my hands, especially meat. The more I can avoid it, the better. So 2 pieces of baking paper. Press this out, or roll it out, it said, into a 15 centimeter circle. Rolling pin. So 15 centimeters, about the size of a side plate. Making a circle is going to be the hardest part. Doesn't tell you how thick. Does it? Nope. Okay. Alrighty, we kind of have something that's, I feel like getting a ruler because I'm not sure I know, but I'll show you what I've got. I reckon that's about 15 centimeters. Keep your top bit, it becomes your next bit. Okay, spread with 1/6 of the tomato mixture over half of each circle, leaving a 1 centimeter border. Top with some basil leaves and then mozzarella. So here is my tomato. What could possibly go wrong, except it's not a circle. Anyway, that's all right. So 1/6 of this. Mine is still hot, if you didn't notice. And also, it probably didn't reduce down as much as yours might because I didn't give it the full cook time. But anyway, is what it is. I'm keeping it real. This is how I would wing my kitchen normally. I have basil leaves. And I have cheese. So now I feel like we're supposed to, the cheese is a bit ambitious, I reckon. Let's just make that a bit smaller. We're going to try and roll this over. I should probably have put it on half. This is like real life cooking with Lisa, making a mess in her kitchen. There we go. So now I have it. It is oozing, but I have it folded over like a pocket. What do I do now? Using paper, fold the plain half over the filling, pressing the edges together to seal. Oh, good luck on that one. I'm going to use the tip of the paper to try and push it together. My tomato, being that it hasn't reduced and thickened, is like oozing. I don't know if I want to commit to pressing that, so we're not going to. This will be mine. The kids can make their own, and good luck to them. Leaving chicken on the baking paper, gently peel back and lightly coat the top only of the chicken with breadcrumbs, and then repeat to make 6 total. So this here, breadcrumbs, it says to only do the top. I feel like that, I don't like the sound of just doing the top. Do we get to do the bottom as well? And lightly coat the top. Place 2 pockets on baking paper into the air fryer, lightly spray with oil and cook in at 190 for 10 to 12 minutes until golden brown and crispy. Okay, we only do the top. So the top is the only side that gets the parmesan on it. So I can put a bit more on that then. I haven't pushed those edges together just because they're oozing with tomato sauce. But I do think at that point, let me grab I just want to turn it slightly if I can. Maybe I can't. Because what I'd like to do for the air fryer, all right, what I'd like to do for the air fryer is actually do a bit of this to put it in like that, okay, so that I can lift it in and it can cook flat like that. So makes sense? If I lift it right now, the juices are going to run out the end. I reckon if you cook it, that tomato down, it'll thicken a lot, and I think it'll not ooze like mine's oozed. But if it oozes, when you see the photo of the final of this on YouTube tonight at the beginning and end, you'll know how messy it got or it didn't get, or if it got as pretty as those pictures. I reckon the kids might have more patience than me and be able to actually seal up the edges. But what I might also do is, now that I'm finished, just because I'm telling you how I'll process it, but I'm going to put the tomato sauce back in. I'll cook it for that leftover 11 minutes and let it thicken a bit for the kids to be able to fill theirs, because I think it'll cook down. That tomato will cook down a lot in that time. But keep an eye out for the final product. I reckon they're going to be really tasty. It's like a chicken parmi, but it's like different, which I like. And you know, if you want to make it without the bread, you've seen how you can do that as well. But if you only have an air fryer, like I do at the moment, this is a great recipe to do. You can do Kievs and stuff in there as well. And you know, I've got the Vorwerk. I can steam. Like, I'm actually not stressed. This is a really interesting thing I realized the other day. As much as my oven has died, it doesn't bother me. I have a Thermomix. You know, like, isn't that crazy to think that when we've got a Thermomix, we actually don't have to worry about the fact that the oven's dead? It may eliminate some recipes for, you know, for what I can make at the moment. I can't go do my lamb roast, which, that's okay. I can steam a lamb roast. That's phenomenal. So I can still do that. But it doesn't stress me out not having an oven, because I got a Thermomix and I can steam, I can boil, I can do the most phenomenal curries, and I can do it mostly hands-free. Like, that's a game changer. So really interesting revelation I had the other day where I was like, you know what? It doesn't matter. That's why I probably didn't jump in and buy the oven straight away. I need to though, and a financial year sales. Now is the time for me to actually order that oven. But yeah, give this recipe a go. When you do, tell me what you think. I think it's going to be absolutely tasty. It smells amazing, and I think maybe mine won't be as pretty as those pictures on the screen, but I'm going to be really happy with it for lunch today. Serve it with some salad. It'll be beautiful. But otherwise, guys, I hope this gives you the confidence to give it a go. Do give your tomato sauce the cook down time, so it's not running off the plate like mine is. But this is such a great recipe. Give it a go. Tell me what you think, and I will put the final pictures up later tonight. Check them on YouTube. But thanks for joining me today, guys. Take care in all you do. If I can help you get a TM7 on the bench, I would be absolutely honoured to if you live in Australia. If you just need support with your Thermomix, I'd love to hear from you. I love to talk about all things Thermomixing and food, regardless of what model. And as you see today, this could be made in any model Thermomix, which is super cool as well. But otherwise, guys, have a fantastic day. Take care, and I will see you in the next video soon. Bye for now.